Okay, so now we're going to solve the problem we saw previously with using a cash flow timeline with an equation. So the future value, in this case, in 3 years, is the $700. The present value multiplied by 1 plus the rate, which is 1.1. And since it's 3 years in the future, that's to the third power. So the generalization or the formula for calculating the future value is the present value multiplied by 1 plus r to the n power. So that number of periods, n being the number of periods, r being the rate of return. So 700 times 1.1 to the third power is $931.70. So identical to what we saw in the using the timeline. So next is financial calculator. So there's a couple of steps missing here, but so if you're looking at your VA2 Plus Professional, the third row is these 5 buttons. And if you have any 4 of the 5, you can compute the 5th. So in this case, we had 3 years, so it's 3N. Interest rate is 10, so it's 10 IY. And then we're investing $700, so that's entered as a negative, so 700 PV. And there's no payment, so payment is 0. And then we compute future value and get the $931.70. I'll actually pull the calculator up here and do the calculation. So 3, press N, 10 IY, 700. Enter the number and hit the plus minus key to make it a negative. PV 0, payment, and the compute key is right here. So compute future value $931.70. Cash. So this is important. Cash inflows should be entered into the calculator as positive value. So in this case, if we were entering the $931.70, it would be entered as a positive. Since we were investing the $700, it's entered as a negative. If you enter the some problems won't work. You'll get an error message depending on the calculation. Error 7, error 5, so forth. That generally means that you need to enter a negative somewhere. So, but if it's an outflow, and loan payment's an outflow, but also investing money is an outflow as well. That's going to be entered as a negative. So the $700 is invested. It represents an outflow, so it's entered as a negative number into the calculator. The same is true when you're doing it in a spreadsheet. There are solutions in the examples where we use Excel, but when you use Excel, you can type all the information into the formula, but it's a lot of times it's helpful to set up a table that contains the data and so forth that you can use to solve the problem. You can click on the F of X key, or you can just type equal and type in the function. So, for example, equal FV open paren, and that will pull up our PV. That'll pull up the future value or present value functions respectively. Payment is PMT, same thing. You click on the cells containing the appropriate data. The function will tell you when you type in equal PV and open paren, it will tell you what goes where. So it's very Excel is very helpful in that way. So the solution appears in the cell that contains a function. And in the textbook, there are examples as well. We will work with them quite a bit. You are welcome to use Excel on the quizzes. So Excel looks like this. In this case, we had N, and we had 3, IY is 10 or 0.1. So distinction between the calculator and Excel. Excel works with decimals. You could format this as a percent. So it would be you could type in 10, then 700, negative 700, 0 for payment. There's also in the function that for payment type, it can be an ordinary annuity or annuity due. You can leave this blank if you don't have payments, or if it defaults to ordinary, if you leave it blank as well. But in this case, we have no payments, and so equal FV, and then we pull in all the information, and it, just like before, equals $931.70. Okay, we will start the next lecture with the future value of an annuity.